Hi guys, thanks for joining me on episode 11 of Build to Scale. This is a series for trades businesses to help you grow and scale your business and eventually get off the tools by building a business that is an asset that can one day either be sold or where you can step back from the business and get off the tools. So each week we cover a different topic, and this week I'm going to cover the 7 traits of trades businesses, what makes them successful, and what successful trade businesses just do differently to help them grow and scale. So before we dive in, there's 2 scenarios here, and I wonder which one you're either heading towards or which one you're currently at. So scenario 1 on the left is that you're still on the tools at 55, tired, knackered. You've been working hard all your life, but you've not been able to grow a business that can be sold or where you can exit from and enjoy some of the fruits of your labor. And then on the right is a business owner that's running a small team by the age of 40. They've built a business, they've built a brand, they've bought back their time, and all of the work they're doing is now starting to compound. I wonder which one you're either in now or which one you're heading towards or which one you would like to be effectively. So let's look at the 7 traits. So the first one is mindset. And this is a very common one that I come across when I'm speaking to trades businesses who are interested in marketing and growing and advertising and scaling and doing all the things that they know they should be doing. So on the left-hand side, the mindset of what's this going to cost me versus what will this investment return. So what will this cost me? You tend to be somebody who wants to see results before you spend any money. You've kind of hit this word of mouth ceiling where you can't grow and scale any further. And you're generally competing on price because you've not done any of the groundwork to build a brand, to build something locally that stands out and means that you can justify charging higher prices. And your first question, whenever anyone talks to you about advertising or marketing, is you see it as a cost. You don't see it as an investment, and that takes a mindset shift to get to this position of thinking about what's this going to return. You understand that you need to invest a little up front before you're going to see any sort of major return. You want to build a brand that kind of moves you away from having a job, and you want to compete more on trust than competing on price. And that requires a bit of a mindset shift for you as the founder to make that shift from thinking that everything is a cost, when marketing and advertising, when it's done right, is actually an investment in your business. Trait 2, and this is all about the customer journey. You're thinking about the customer. You're not thinking about what's right for your business. You're thinking about what is right for the customer. So sometimes we can fall into this trap of, doing things what are right for us, but not actually thinking about what's right for the customer. So sometimes it can be a bit of a headache getting, automated pricing and quoting tools set up on your website, but actually that's the right thing, because most customers just want to self-serve. They don't want to have to pick up the phone. They don't want to have conversations. They don't want to fill in endless forms. They just want to be able to get a price straight away. But of course, most businesses want to kind of hide that behind a bit of a wall. We don't want to put our prices up front, because what if somebody is shopping around on price? We're not even going to get the inquiry. Well, if you've built a solid enough business and you've been investing in your brand and your customer service and your reviews, then customers aren't going to be shopping on price. They're going to go with the best one who's going to fulfill their need. So offering things like real-time quoting, transparent pricing, so being really clear on how much your servicing is, even if you want to hold a little bit back and say, well, we don't want to put our prices on there because sometimes we charge a little bit more for our servicing. Generally speaking, you're going to win out if you put your prices on the website and if you offer some sort of self-service booking. So that is another mindset shift of always doing what's right for the customer and not what is always right for the business. And that mindset, that attitude will win out in the day. The third trait that I see for successful trades businesses is you've got your processes, you've got your back end sorted, you've got job management tools in place, they're set up correctly. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the business. If you go away on holiday, you can leave somebody in charge of your business because you've got the systems and processes set up. So you're using tools like, it could be Surefire, it could be ServiceMate, it could be Jobber, it could be Tradeify. Any number of these tools will help kind of divorce you from your business. It will help you separate yourself from the business, so that if you do go away on holiday, there are systems and processes set up for things like quoting, invoicing, reminders on not just payment reminders, but sending out automated reminders for people to leave you a review after each job. You've got systems and processes in place, and that ultimately is going to help you grow and scale. You understand this is the fourth trait. So, your first hire in the business can feel expensive. You hit a bit of a ceiling yourself, but sometimes, you have to take a little bit of a downward step on your own remuneration to be able to make that hire that's going to help you leap further forward. So if you're always thinking about your own income, and you're not willing to compromise on that, it's going to be very difficult for you to make that next leap up. So a lot of the time, you're going to have to suck it up and take a little bit of a pay cut to be able to afford that hire. And it doesn't have to be an employed person. It could be a virtual assistant on an hourly rate, but it's going to give you time back. It's going to give you time that you can invest in your business, and it's going to propel you forward much faster than just staying stuck at that solo level. So, it's another mindset shift where you've got to sacrifice a little bit to be able to move forward. So, your first hire could and should be some sort of virtual assistant that's going to help you get organized. There's lots of online business managers these days. You can outsource a lot of this. You don't have to employ somebody. And then it's kind of getting your first subby, your first engineer, to enable you to take on more work. And that's when you start building your team and when you start scaling. So the fifth trait of highly successful trade business owners that I see, and this is a really critical one, they never stop learning. They're curious, they're interested, they're happy to pick up a book, listen to a podcast instead of putting the radio on. They're curious and they want to learn about sales, about marketing, about leadership, about finance, anything that's not trade specific. They're curious and they want to learn. There's so many books out there, books that were written 30, 40 years ago that are still fundamental today on things like sales and marketing and leadership, and even more modern books. This is probably one of the biggest ones that I see. The businesses that make it are generally run by founders that are curious on all of these topics. You don't need to become an expert, but just learning a little bit about each of these topics, again, gives you the tools you need to be able to grow and scale your business. And just reading, one book a month, that's 12 a year. Imagine the compounding effect of all of that knowledge on how you can grow your business. Imagine what that's going to do for your business rather than sticking on Spotify or the radio. So that's trait number 5. Trait number 6 is thinking like a CEO and not a tradesperson. Again, this is another mindset shift, but it's a really critical one. So you're on the tools, you're quoting jobs, you're fitting boilers, you're sending out invoices, you're answering the phone yourself. You need to find a way of shifting that from being on the tools constantly to working on the business. So you can start, and this is what I always advise my clients to do. Just start by setting aside an hour a week. Everybody can spare an hour a week. I don't care who you are or how busy you are. Everyone can spare an hour a week just to spend that time working on your business, thinking a bit more strategically. What do you need to grow? Setting up a simple figures spreadsheet, KPI spreadsheet, thinking about what advertising you need to do, thinking about pricing, thinking about the strategy of the business, thinking about your brand. All of these things are really critical. So start just with 1 hour a week, a Friday afternoon, put it in your diary, set it aside, and then build on it, and then do an afternoon a week. Then the next step is to try and build out a day a week where you're just working on your business. And that's things like learning, reading, listening, leaning into things, getting curious, attending, training, doing some networking, All of these things are going to compound over time and give you a much more successful business in the long run. So think like a CEO would and not like a tradesperson. That's the direction of travel that you want to get to. And the final one, feedback. Feedback is the fuel of your business. So every single customer that you touch in your business, that you come into contact with your business, that you do jobs for, you must be asking them to to leave a review. This is alongside learning and training, which I think was trait number 5 or 4 in this list. This is probably the next biggest one. You're working hard, you do a great job, but not enough trades businesses take that next step and ask every customer to leave a review. And reviews are just, they were important 5 years ago, they were important 10 years ago. They're probably the most important thing you should be doing for your business right now, because as more and more people are using AI tools to do their research, what's happening is AI tools are referencing trust as one of the biggest indicators of businesses that they cite in their responses. So in each one of these episodes that I've done, I've spoken a lot about AI and the impact and the effect that it's having on trades businesses. And reviews are just one of the biggest factors that AI tools rely on. And when I say AI tools, I mean things like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, all of these AI tools, where people, ordinary members of the public, are now using them to do their research. They're migrating more and more from Google. Google is still really important, but they're migrating more and more from Google to use these tools to do their research. And they will type in things like, suggest the best, most trusted local boiler company to me. And, those keywords in there, trusted, best, those AI tools are going to reference things like, third-party reviews. So this is number 7. Your reputation is really, really key. Treat it like you would your child. It is so important. It is so critical to the success of your business. So here you go. Here's your 7 traits. So brand, customer first journey, systems, software, processes, hiring before you're necessarily ready, being prepared to take a little bit of a cut to be able to propel your business forward. Never stop learning. Number 5, think like a CEO, and feedback is the fuel in your business. So your task this week, you can't do all of this stuff at once, but my task to you, my challenge to you is just pick one of them and start focusing on it. So it could be that you start looking at a job management tool like Surefire, Traderify, Jobber, whatever, ServiceMate. It could be that you look at one of those, or it could be that you order a book from Amazon and you just get curious. By the way, one of the best books that you could be reading is called Endless Customers by Marcus Sheridan. It's a book that I give to all my clients when I'm working with them. I would urge you to order that book and read it. It will transform your business. It's kind of written for businesses in this modern AI age. So your challenge this week is pick one of those and start trying to get book solid. Start trying to grow your business as an asset. So just before we finish up, we offer 2 things, really. We offer a growth audit call, which is where we will look at your business and we will dissect it, and we'll do a bit of an audit, and we'll record a 5-minute video on your business that will point you in the right direction of what you need to be looking at, some quick wins that are going to help you. So if you want to do that, then head on to our website and go and book yourself a growth audit call. And the second thing is we have our Book Solid system, which has been working for trades businesses for years. It's our proprietary growth model, if you like. Go and check it out. It's on our website. But that's it for now. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Build to Scale. I hope that's been a good one. It's one that I've been looking forward to recording for you. So hopefully it's been of use. And if you just do one thing, have a look at those 7 traits, and start adopting one in your business today. So I look forward to joining you on the next episode.